I'm Nicole Versansky from 19 News. Here are the latest headlines for Thursday, January 22nd, 2026.
First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your First Alert forecast. 19 News starts now.
Well, we begin with your bone-chilling cold. It's a First Alert day. Dangerously low temperatures.
We are talking wind chills tomorrow, possibly at -20. It is going to be a wintry weekend for sure. Thanks for joining us first at 4. I'm Nicole Versansky.
Did you say -20?
-20.
Minus
That was
20.
not a mistake.
All right. I'm Brian Duffy. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, our 19 First Alert weather days.
Yeah, so now is the time to prepare. 19 First Alert meteorologist Sam Roberts has all the details on what to expect, and this is a lot to get through, Sam.
Yeah, it is a lot of cold and then a lot of snow coming kind of at once. So we've got all these First Alert weather days. Again, many of them are just for the cold, but we do have to deal with some snow, maybe more than some. We've got a winter storm watch in effect for our entire coverage area Saturday evening through Monday afternoon. So kind of a long duration event, over 6 inches of snow likely area wide. So there will be travel disruptions. This is a system, not lake effect. So you've got a great chance for snow in Mansfield, Dover, Canton, places that don't typically see much lake effect at all, right? You could see more snow in New Philadelphia than in Chardon this time. We'll see. It depends on how things set up. So here's the timing on everything. Saturday evening, snow moves in late. It may take a little while to get here. Sometimes these things tend to slow down. So I would say for sure after midnight, and then roads, of course, will become slick and snow coated overnight. Sunday, widespread moderate to heavy snow, hazardous travel conditions, slick roads, low visibility conditions, and then Monday, lingering snow out there, but a lot of it happens Sunday and Sunday evening, which is why we're concerned about the potential for closures and delays. Cold related tomorrow, maybe, and then snow related on Monday. Right now, it's just kind of your typical like Cleveland in January cold. It's 25, but it feels like 10. Not a ton of snow in our forecast tonight, but we could see a passing snow shower. The biggest issue is just the cold. It'll be 12 degrees tomorrow morning. How much snow will you see this weekend? We'll talk about it coming up in just a bit.
All right, Sam, thanks. Make sure you have the 19 First Alert weather app. You scan the QR code right there on your screen for the free download. You can keep track of these extremely cold temperatures we're going to be dealing with, plus stay updated with severe weather alerts, video updates from Cleveland's most accurate weather team. Well, a mom and her 4 kids come face to face with a man with a gun. It had to be absolutely terrifying, and the moment was caught on camera.
So the suspect pulling the drastic move, trying to get away from police. This is breaking news yesterday, first at 4. Now, we want to warn you, this video may be tough to watch, but now our Harry Boomer joining us live with the video showing the ending of really that wild police chase, Harry.
That's right, guys. Police got their man, but not before he led them on a miles-long high-speed chase through several cities. It did not end well for the suspect. An Elyria police officer firing in self-defense after following a Brinks truck robbery suspect to this apartment in North Olmsted, gun in hand. 37-year-old John Johnson led police on a high-speed chase of up to 100 miles per hour. He bailed out of his car only after police deployed stop sticks. Johnson forced his way inside an apartment of an unsuspecting mother where she lived with her 4 children.
That's why my officer had to use deadly force and to neutralize the suspect from causing harm to the innocent hostage and her children.
Again, take a look at this scary Ring doorbell video. She and her children were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Seconds later, an Elyria officer rolls up, he kicks in the door and opens fire.
The suspect's weapon was found inside.
This all started on Wednesday afternoon outside this AT&T store. Police say Johnson robbed a Brinks truck and took off. A short time later, they found him at this North Olmsted apartment complex, where a normally quiet afternoon turned quickly into chaos. Thankfully, no one else was hurt. Elyria police told us that the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is handling the case to ensure transparency and accountability. When they give us more details, we'll make sure that you get them on air and on 19 News Plus. Outside the Elyria Police Headquarters, I'm Harry Boomer, 19 News.
Harry, thank you. And 19 News with continuing coverage. Coming up at 4:30, we're going to hear from people who live in that neighborhood in North Olmsted, still shocked about what they saw yesterday.
Latest developments now on a crash that was breaking this morning on 19 News at 11. The crash was between an ambulance and a garbage truck. Now, they basically hit head on there. This happened around 10:15 in the area of West 99th in Lorain. You can just see the ambulance behind the garbage truck there. West 99th was blocked off until crews could pull the trucks apart, get them towed away. We do have calls out to find out if anyone was hurt in the crash.
Still cold, like it's getting icier as like the longer it runs, the colder it's getting. And this is my hot water.
Pregnant woman in this freezing cold with no hot water. It's unimaginable, but that's the reality for a local woman who is beyond frustrated after claiming she's been ignored by her landlord. So she called the 19 troubleshooters. First at 4, Katie Tursik went to get her some help.
Like it gets colder as it runs. I am upset. I'm livid. This is not okay for anybody, regardless of the person. This is not inhabitable.
Ajane Davis is pregnant. She, her husband, and their 5-year-old daughter live at Regency Square Apartments in the Huff neighborhood.
We haven't had hot water since the 7th of January.
They've been without hot water for more than 2 weeks, a harsh reality during this brutal winter.
I have to boil water to do my dishes.
On top of that, she says her apartment is infested with mice.
I don't understand why we're being treated like this. I understand it's a low-income building, but it's not like the work is getting done in here. It's not like anything has been done. I pay my rent.
Her next door neighbor does not have hot water either. This afternoon, I called the Regency Square Apartments property manager. She didn't want to answer my questions. She did say they are waiting on a part to fix the water problem. She hopes it will arrive on Friday.
And it's not good for my baby. I can't stress out too much because I'm going to end up hurting my child, and I cannot do that.
19 News will hold the landlord accountable if that part does not show up. Davis will call me, and I'll be back in Cleveland. Kate Tursek, 19 News.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
Well, there's several slowdowns that I want to first alert you to, like this one on 71 southbound. Just after 480 is where we have drivers tapping on the brakes pretty heavily for more than a 2-mile stretch here. Speeds are still just around 16 miles per hour. So if you're going to be heading this way, one of the slowest spots you'll be seeing is as you pass Snow Road, where you're going to be dealing with those speeds. Again, just around 16 miles per hour and about an extra 5 minutes added onto your drive. That's going to be a similar delay if you plan to be heading east on 76 towards 44 in the Rootstown area. This is a 3-mile stretch of slowdowns now. Now, speeds are varying in this area, but they are as slow as 14 miles per hour, but not even hitting 30. So if you're about to be heading this way, at least an extra 5 minutes to even 10 is going to be on tap for you there. Again, that's 76 eastbound towards 44. That third spot is going to bring you over to Canton, where drivers on 77 northbound are really heavy on the brakes too. And this is between Route 172 and 687. That's a 2-mile stretch there. Speeds here even slower, just 7 miles per hour. So you'll be dealing with about an extra 10 or so minutes added onto your drive if you're going to be joining those drivers just where 77 passes 13th Street.
All right, Rachel, thank you. What is the weather story most of our country is watching right now? A massive winter storm spanning from the south to the east coast, set to bring historic conditions, and preparations are now underway. Brian Abel shows us the planning, the potential impacts of this storm that has several states already declaring states of emergency.
A potentially historic, worst in years winter storm could bring damaging heavy snow and ice to more than half of the United States this weekend.
The main actions to take now are to prepare your family, prepare your home, and prepare your car.
At least 182 million people in 45 states are under alert, with more expected as the storm's footprint will stretch more than 1,500 miles from Texas to the Northeast. Record-breaking cold with dangerous expected wind chills as low as -50 in some spots, starting to creep into the upper Midwest and northern plains Thursday, with the system spreading across the eastern U.S. in the coming days. New York City may get hit with the most snow it's seen in 4 years. Some in the Great Lakes anticipating more treacherous conditions like the ones that created this 100-plus car pileup in West Michigan this week. In the South, road and airport concerns have crews working now.
We don't get a lot of opportunities to engage in a snow event, and so we're doing a lot of preparation.
And Texas officials confident the deep freeze won't wreak havoc on the power grid like what the state saw in 2021 when millions were in the dark.
The ERCOT grid has never been stronger, never been more prepared, and is fully capable of handling this winter storm.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
All right, and a reminder about First Alert Focus. It is Northeast Ohio's only all-weather newscast featuring Tiffany Tucker, our most accurate weather squad. They're going to be tracking the giant winter storm, including the impacts we're going to see here. You can watch weeknights at 7:30 on Cleveland's 43.
All right, Samantha Roberts is back in just a couple minutes. Look at Madison. It is beautiful out there. The sky looks gorgeous. Unfortunately, it's going to get really, really cold, and we're going to get some snow. So enjoy that sun while it lasts, right? All right, every week we partner with Crime Stoppers of Cuyahoga County to try and make Northeast Ohio a little safer, one fugitive at a time.
Dan DeRose is back with new numbers about the effectiveness of this partnership.
Yeah, you keep hearing me say we have a 75% capture rate. Well, we can update that. We are at a 78% capture rate. That is because of the people like you at home who are making calls on people like Terrence Gardner.
Well, Dan, this is a very serious situation, as many of them are that we feature on Crime Stoppers. In September of last year, Terrence pled guilty to felonious assault and discharge of a firearm on or near a prohibited premises, as well as domestic violence. And according to reports, in March, Terrence confronted the victims and threatened them, stating, "I'll kill you." That's a quote. He then pulled out what was described as a colorful gun and fired one round off at them. He violated the conditions of his probation in this case, and a warrant was issued for his arrest. He's approximately 6 foot tall and 220 pounds, and was last known to be staying in the 3500 block of East 118th Street in the city of Cleveland.
Detective, this is about cleaning up our streets. This is about getting justice for victims and their families. It's also about that reward money of up to $5,000. What do you like to remind people?
That crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
Look, this is why this program works. This is why Crime Stoppers works, because we know you don't want Gardner to find out it was you that called, and he won't. 216-252-7463, that goes to Crime Stoppers. They don't record the call. They don't have caller ID. They don't want your name. They just want the tip that brings them in. And to Mr. Gardner, I'll say, now that we've got that shiny new 78% capture rate, boy, good luck.
All right, Dan, thank you. Happening tonight, there is a grand opening for Glow Sticks Golf. A ribbon cutting ceremony is at 4:30 in Bainbridge in Geauga County. Grand opening weekend is Saturday and Sunday. The new entertainment destination offers blacklight mini golf, duckpin bowling, and arcade. This weekend, there will be prize wheels, challenges, and special deals.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
Great place to go, right? On a cold day like tomorrow when it's, in the single digits in the afternoon, or next week when it's still cold, and some snow on the way. First Alert weather day in effect for Sunday. Now, this is for everybody, okay? This is not lake effect. We have widespread system snow coming in on Saturday. Over 6 inches of snow area wide. I do think some spots could see up to a foot. So this is something we're watching very closely here. Hazardous travel conditions for sure Sunday and Monday of next week, and not super windy, which is good because it minimizes the power outage risk. But the risk for outages is rarely zero with this extreme cold on the way and with the snow too. So just keep your devices charged just in case. Again, I don't expect widespread power outages locally like what they're going to see with the ice portion of the storm in the south. For us, it's a lot of snow coming in. Snow likely on Sunday morning, so some houses of worship could be closed on Sunday, or maybe a couple of delays, just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. And then in the afternoon, still snowing, slick, low visibility. I do think it'll look a lot like this. This is a graphic, by the way, not a live picture, but Sunday, if you're watching the news, going to look like that outside. We've got a lot going on. Extreme cold Friday to Monday, and then widespread snow on Sunday. So first alert weather days basically from Friday even through next Monday, because it's still going to be really cold. Tomorrow's cold is similar to what we experienced Monday. So the temperature drops through the day. This is Future View wind chill tracker at 11 in the morning. Everybody's feeling like they're below zero, and then more below zero. Farther below zero, it's all cold right in the afternoon and the evening. 15 to 20 below, or maybe even a couple spots like 23 below. I think it all feels kind of the same, right? 0, -20. You got to dress the same. Saturday, not as windy, which is a good thing. We're still below zero for wind chills, though, for most of the day, because it's going to be so cold that like any little breeze on your exposed skin is going to make it feel even colder. Frigid on Sunday, but the wind chill should come up at least into the single digits. Woohoo! During the day on Sunday. What a January. Gosh, and it feels like it's been 84 days long. Tonight, 12 degrees, mostly cloudy with just a few passing snow showers, nothing like Sunday. We get down to 12 tonight, and then we are around 12 in the morning, and then the temperature drops, -4. Do you want me to keep going? Yeah, bitterly cold on Saturday, snow on Sunday. This is a Cleveland forecast. Snow showers on Monday. And we stay cold. You know those milder winters like 2015 to 2023 or so? Yeah, but this is not one of those. Now stay cold, maybe staying below freezing through February 5th. Back to you guys.
Now to your top four. At 4, Elyria police shoot and kill a man after an armed robbery, chase, and hostage situation. The medical examiner identified him as John Johnson of Lorain. Chase ended outside a North Olmsted apartment complex. Video shows the suspect running up to the apartment complex, a specific apartment, pushing a woman inside her apartment while she and her children brought in groceries. A police officer kicked in the door and fired. In just a few moments, reaction from people who live in that area.
The massive storm's impact zone could stretch more than 1,500 miles from the plains across the south into the northeast. More than 90 million people across parts of 23 states, including right here in Ohio, are already under some sort of winter storm watch. Of particular concern is the ice that's expected to hit southern states, making roads treacherous and extended power outages possible. North and South Carolina have both declared states of emergency.
All right, and several local communities have announced that they are dealing with a salt shortage. Today alone, we've heard from Cleveland, Avon Lake, Westlake, and Twinsburg. Main roads and dangerous intersections or schools will be the priority. In Avon, they say the supplier, Cargill, is experiencing supply issues. Next delivery there is expected in February. Roads will still be plowed, but salt use will be limited. Talk about bad timing.
Vice President J.D. Vance gave remarks at an industrial shipping facility in Toledo today. Then he headed to Minneapolis. Tensions between ICE agents and people who live in Minneapolis remained high. There have been weeks of protests and confrontations since the deadly shooting of Renee Good. Today, Vice President Vance said he and the rest of the Trump administration are standing with law enforcement. Every year in our country, carbon monoxide poisoning sends more than 100,000 people to the emergency room.
It's a big number. More than 14,000 patients end up hospitalized, and more than 400 people die from carbon monoxide poisoning. The CDC says never use a generator inside your home or your garage, even if doors and windows are open. Only use them outside more than 20 feet away from any windows, doors, and vents. Never heat your home with a gas oven, and don't run your car or truck inside a garage that's attached to the house, even with the garage door open.
If you have multiple family members, everyone in the home has all the same symptoms. It may be that carbon monoxide is the common denominator as to why everyone doesn't feel good.
Well, the CDC says it's important to use a battery-powered or battery pack backup carbon monoxide detector in your house. They should be installed near every sleeping area. Breaking at this hour, a Georgia man sentenced for killing a pregnant Sandusky woman. Toldrick Griffin Jr. got 2 life sentences with the possibility of parole after 36 years. Griffin pleaded guilty in the case. Last year, a trooper was checking out a disabled car. Griffin was there and took off. An investigation led officers to a house where the victim was found dead. That victim has been identified as 20-year-old Shakoria Hamilton of Sandusky.
Also breaking, former Michigan football coach Sharon Moore back in court today. His lawyer is looking to have home invasion and other charges dismissed because the arrest warrant was based on apparently misleading statements, according to his attorney. Prosecutors have until February 2nd to respond. Investigators say Moore went inside a woman's apartment, blamed her for losing his job, and threatened to kill himself in front of her. Moore was fired over his relationship with a woman who worked in the football program. Continuing coverage now on the chaotic scene that started in Elyria, ended in North Olmsted.
So something else, an armed robbery chase, hostage situation. Vic Gideon now with reaction from the neighborhood where this all came to a deadly conclusion.
These are the moments police stormed an apartment to save a family. Neighbors saw it all unfold around 3:30 Wednesday afternoon.
A whole bunch of cops, a whole bunch of flashing lights, and a little bit of screaming.
It was unbelievable. I mean, they had all these guns and the dogs and, the shooting. And
This is where it ended. Claire Scher Drive. Sharon Johnstone heard sirens in her backyard. She looked outside and couldn't believe what she saw.
I looked out my curtain and saw the mother and the daughter and her kids running out, and the cops going in with the dogs and the guns, and then I hear the gunshot.
Here's how it started. Police say Johnson robbed a Brinks truck at an AT&T store in Elyria. He was armed. He took off.
Traveling at speeds over 100 mile an hour.
Officers threw down stop sticks at Columbia and Brook Park. Johnson crashed after exiting I-480. Then he ran straight into this apartment complex.
I go and I look down to the front window, and I see they're going down my street. I go, okay. And then I open the back door and I see there's a whole bunch of cops right here.
Police descended on the unit, then kicked down the door, and after that, things went pretty quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. Because as soon as I opened the curtain, she was running out, the cops were going in, and then a whole bunch of cops came.
The Elyria officer who shot Johnson is now on paid leave. Ohio BCI is investigating.
I'm really glad that nobody was hurt, the mother and kids.
Police recovered Johnson's gun and an undisclosed amount of cash. The family is safe. A chaotic afternoon now over. In North Olmsted, Vic Gideon, 19 News.
I'm Nicole Versansky. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe for the latest headlines every weekday. And don't miss our true crime podcast, Dark Side of the Land.